Hello guys, so welcome back to my channel. This side Prince, and in the last lecture we discussed about what are the shadow elements and where they exist on the DOM, and like Selenium does not have capability to interact with these elements, especially Selenium 3 based driver. In Selenium 4 there is a capability to handle shadow elements directly. So in this video we are going to discuss about how to deal with such shadow elements, okay, and which library is useful to interact with these elements. So I'm now navigating to IntelliJ, wherein I am going to show you. So there is a minor difference from the previous lecture and current lecture. Last time I was using P, and corresponding to P there were two elements. That's why like if I use, for example, P in previous lecture I was using P, and which was leading to give two elements, so it was becoming a bit challenging, right? Which I don't want to, like I don't want to confuse it. So I bring one element which is just a single element on DOM, and that to a shadow element, right? So only difference which we need to bring in, we need to now comment this particular line, and we need to now uncomment this particular line, right? So if you look at it, find element by, okay, and this find element by is nothing but this is some annotation introduced by this io.github.sugu.support. So this is the library which is available on the MVN repository. You can download it from there, and it has the capability to interact with the shadow elements, okay. So only difference I need to bring is we will have to tag at that find element by, and rest of the things are same as it is if you compare both the elements. So this is at date find by something provided by Selenium page factory, right? The rest everything is same as it is, okay. Now I'm going to run this code, and you should be able to see the element text is getting printed, okay. So text of shadow element is my default text. So now I'm navigating you to this particular site, okay. If I, for example, navigate to you to this particular shadow root, not this one actually, the below one, which I just used, okay. So if you look at it, I'm expanding it, and I'm using my default text, right? So this is the one which I'm using, having my default text. You can compare it, right? Slot text is my default text, so we are able to interact with these elements. So in Sukgu library we have two options to interact with these elements. Like we have two type of locators only. Find element by, if you will go right, you will see like by default it has two options. So if, for example, if I'll add something like that, so you see that there's CSS and XPath, right? So this Sukgu library or like shadow elements can be interacted using the XPath or using the what I mean CSS selector, okay. So for example, element 1 I'll call it, right, and let me give CSS. So this is how we need to provide the CSS. So let me go here, and let me uh, go and click on copy, and I can copy selector, right? So this is, I provided equals 2 times, right? And now I'm going to use this one, and similarly I'll now go to my code, right, Selenium handling, and I'll just replace element with element 1 because this is my new element. So now if I'll run, I'll be able to run it. Okay, again the type of shadow element is my default text. So again, I'm like recapping it, like repeating it, I mean, like we can use one library Sukgu, right, which can handle shadow elements within Selenium. So only difference which we need to bring in is at the rate find element by, we need to tag any like shadow element as at the rate find element by, and this one is can use two type of locator, XPath and CSS. This is how we need to provide. Along with it, we can provide like I mean, if we provide at the rate find element by or at the rate find by, that will work together. So this is it from this lecture. This is how we can interact with shadow elements. So in future, I'll be like discussing about how to handle shadow elements in Selenium 4. Okay, thank you.